Arsenal Fan TV, Mo. Big 3 points for Arsenal today. It wasn't vintage, but defensively, we had to do a lot of defending in the game and held on pretty well.
Yeah, you know, it was a strange one because I thought the first half was quite poor from us, to be honest with you, and I thought we'd come out and do much better in the second. Second half was even worse. But saying that, when you think about the moments there where we really felt threatened or we really felt nervous, there weren't many of them. You know, we did a good defensive job. So I think it's important to kind of split this performance up into two halves. One being the defensive aspect and one being the attacking aspect. And defensively, we were very good. We were very strong and organised and robust. Attacking, it just didn't really fall for us today. You know, I think our passing wasn't that crisp. A lot of the time we're overrunning the ball, losing the ball. We just didn't have that sort of fluidity that we had against Liverpool. So, kind of mixed feelings. I didn't enjoy the game today at all. I was very nervous. I was stressed out, and you know,
to be honest, I wasn't nervous. I mean, I thought Arsenal had the game under control.
Yeah, we did, but you know, I'm always going to be in that kind of nervous state at 1-0 because you know what can happen. Look, Palace scored 3 goals in 6 minutes today. You know, football can turn at an instant. And every single game that I go to, I always think to myself in my head, I'll take a 1-0 today. But it is a very nervous scoreline. And when you're at the business end of a season, and every game, I know it's a cliche, but every game's a cup final, I personally can't help but feel nervous at all times. So, listen, I am just glad overall that we did a very, very good defensive job and we're going home with the 3 points. And that is what we came for, and that's mission accomplished.
A lot of teams have come here, a lot of big teams. City came here, slipped up. Tottenham last week came here.
You said big.
Fan there just said we were very lucky. Said we had, and they said they had 12 men. I mean, it was one of them really where, you know, their fans were really, you know, getting on top of the referee. Their players, you know, I thought the Burnley players put a lot of effort in, really closed us down. But very mature performance by Arsenal.
Definitely, but I think we have to give Burnley a hell of a lot of credit because, as I said, you know, at home we've seen it many times. Arsenal come out in the second half and we're much, much better when we push on. And I was expecting the same today. But when Burnley came out, it was very, very clear that a very strong message had been landed in the team talk. Because they came in there were incredibly physical. Their pressing game stepped up even beyond the levels of the first half. And I was watching the second half thinking, right, this can't last for the entirety of this half. They will tire, they will wane. And ultimately that did happen. And I think we got on top with it in the last 15 minutes. It was a bit strange because where we expect the pressure to build and build and build, it dropped off. And I do think that was fatigue on their part because they really came out hell for leather and threw the kitchen sink at us. And I think there's a lot of credit to Burnley on that because, you know, for the first half hour of that second half, they were supremely organised. Their pressing was absolutely brilliant. The amount of times that, you know, we were playing the ball all the way back to Ospina and, like, you know, really being turned around by their pressing game, I thought was fantastic. So a lot of credit to Burnley in that respect. And, you know, one thing I noticed today about Hector Bellerin, look, he did very well today. He was quite defensively solid. But we saw a statistic today that said he's got the best 40-metre sprint time. Better than Henry, better than Walcott. He doesn't take his man on enough.
But you know what? And I was talking to a fan inside. I just felt that he had no protection. Every time you saw Hector Bellerin with that ball, he'd have a little look around. There was nobody there. Every time Ramsey was back inside, Ramsey's supposed to be playing on the right as well, was always back inside him. So I think he just had it in his head all the time that if I lose this ball, they're gone. So defensively, again, that was him showing a lot of discipline and holding his position.
I agree with that. There was an element of maturity there, but I also think that you have to pick and choose your moments, and he didn't pick and choose them wisely enough. At times, it actually put us under more pressure because you're better off playing the percentages, knocking it past a man like Overmars used to do, winning a corner or a throw-in.
But if he gives it away then and they go down and counter-attack and they score like we've seen earlier on in the season, we'd all be out here slaughtering him.
But you have to weigh up the percentages, and I feel that there's a way of doing that where you know that if you get your body between the man and the ball, either you're going to get a free kick, a corner or a throw on. And I just felt that he could have taken more pressure off us because you have to back yourself. If you're in that team, it's because you've got the ability. And I just think Bellerin played a little bit within himself. But I think, look, maybe that is a reflection of the fact that it was a 1-0 scoreline and no one wants to be the man to make an error to you know, end up chucking the points away.
Now, listen, I want to ask you, can we sneak in and win this league? I mean, we're winning every week. Right, we're going to have a little break next week. Burnley fan says we've got no chance,
look,
right?
Do you know what? Let's get the Burnley fan in. Come in, no, come in.
Come in, listen.
Come in.
Come in.
Look. Look, step over that wire. Look,
hey,
and the reason, wait, the reason I get a Burnley fan in, because Arsenal fans will always say, yeah, we can do it. Let's ask someone that's objective. Because, you know,
let me ask him.
Let
me ask him. Can we win the league? Can Arsenal win the league?
Be
what
honest.
do you reckon?
No.
And look,
What did you? Hold on a minute, mate. What did you make of Arsenal today?
Obviously a good side, aren't they? You know what I mean?
But you were pretty unhappy with the referee, it seemed. You lot were
no.
doing a lot of moaning today.
gave you a lot of stick about that.
No, but I mean, being honest, honestly, a good side, aren't they? Bloody hell, fire. Last week, 4-1 beat Liverpool.
Yeah.
And actually, and I'm not just saying it because I felt Burnley, their pressing game and their work and their effort was. I mean,
They tried, don't they?
yeah,
you were brilliant. You really put it in.
When I compare it to teams we played recently that are also in that situation, seems like QPR and that, I think Burnley probably got a better chance of staying up. Do you think you'll stay up?
Hopefully.
You know what? I think it's clear with Burnley though that they are playing for their manager. You saw the commitment and the work levels that they put out there. They really are playing for their manager, and I think they do have a good chance of staying up. My take on whether Arsenal can win the league: look, there's absolutely nothing to suggest that what Chelsea have been doing all season long would dramatically change at this stage. It will be a monumental collapse if Chelsea don't win the league right now, and I think they've got the management and the players to see it out. They've got big players that know how to see these, periods of the season out. I do not expect Arsenal to win the league. All we can do is come to places like this and do the job that we come here to do on every single day, and just put them under as much pressure as we can. Let's just hope that QPR do the business tomorrow and draw or beat them, and then we'll see how it goes. But ultimately, no matter what happens, if we want to win the league if we want to take the league off of Chelsea at this stage, we need to beat them at home. So we haven't done that for a long time. We haven't managed to pull one over them. So that's the one thing we have to do. Whether we're in a position to take the league from them or not, that's the one thing I want to see Arsenal do this year.
Chelsea, can we sneak in there?
Well, yeah, hopefully Arsenal can finally beat Moaning Mooring, and that might put the skids underneath them. And if Cesc can get a booking as well, that's him out for the game against them as well. So, yeah.
You know what? Just on the last, sorry, bro.